Welcome, welcome, all of you beautiful, amazing human beings. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Max Riggs. Max is an energetic awareness explorer and empowerment coach working with highly aware and energetically sensitive people. His unique perspective brings understanding to the underlying whys in his clients' issues and quickly removes self-critical thoughts, limitations, and blocks even in areas where previous modalities have failed. His powerful work creates a safe, supportive space and is delivered with deep caring, kindness, and compassion. Max, it's so wonderful to have you join us. Welcome to the summit.
Thank you. It's so glad to be here. I'm so glad you're putting this together.
Oh, thank you. So I'm wondering, what does embodied resiliency mean to you? And what does it stand for in your own personal creational field?
Yeah, well, I think embodied resilience is really good, especially now that people are having so much challenges. We have so much energetic challenges that are up in the world. We have, political stuff, war, COVID virus, and then all the energetic stuff from social media, internet, all those things. So it can feel really hard for people who have energetic awareness to be even just kind of alive in this world. And at the same time, it's actually really good because we have this ability to connect to so many people around the world. And there's actually so many more energetically aware people who are kind of rising up and stepping into this awareness and their magic. So it's actually kind of a good time to be alive in this world.
So in regards to all of the energies that are out in the mainstream, there feels sometimes like there is like external resistance. We had talked about this before. Can you sort of talk about what that is? Why is it part of an agenda for evolving consciousness seekers?
Right. So this is one of the parts that a lot of modalities don't really talk about, is that they talk about that it's you that have the power to change everything in your life. And they also can imply that you're creating all the challenges in your life. Now, this is something I really am strongly against, because some of the most kind, caring people in the world I've seen have some of the most challenges and actually also have this, what they call energetic resistance, that's been pushing them down, making it harder for them to create the lives that they would like. Now, this missing component, this external energetic resistance, this is the part that I find in most people when we're trying to create this positive change in our life. We seem to have this resistance, and it can be we can be told that it's our fear of success. It's something that we're doing wrong, or we just don't have a positive enough mindset. And the thing is while we do have the power to change anything in our lives, we only have the power to change what we created. Now, this is the part that's a little bit different. And a lot of the disempowering beliefs that we all have, they're not actually our beliefs. They're ones that we picked up from other people, like things like maybe our parents said when we were really young, a teacher, or it doesn't even have to be said, because we have this such energetic capacity, we can pick up on other people's thoughts. So even if you had really good parents that didn't criticize you, which most people didn't, but if you did, you could be picking up what they were thinking, those disempowering thoughts, like, oh, you're not good enough. Why do you always make that mistake? Why can't you be like your brother, sister, or kid down the street? And the challenge with those thoughts is, if you didn't actually create them, if there's something else's thought, you can't actually change them. And so many of us have been trying to. We've been doing the empowerment stuff. We've been trying to overwrite those critical beliefs with a positive affirmation. But that doesn't really work, because since you didn't create it, you can't change it. It's basically just like when someone else has a really strong opinion, and no matter what you say to them, you can't convince them to change their mind. In the same way, you can't convince those critical thoughts to change or shift. But the trick is you can kick them out.
Okay. How so?
And so first is to recognize that it's not your thought. And I'm going to say that pretty much 90% of the self-critical, those really tough ones, the ones that keep repeating over and over, those ones aren't your thoughts. And so the trick around that is not to try to change them or convince them to go away, because with logic, even logic doesn't work for those. But what you can do is kick them out. Now, in my work, I have some stronger ways to do it, but the easiest one is just to recognize it's not your thought and then just tell it to get out. So basically, if you have any kind of self-critical thought that's kind of running on repeat, you can just say, you are not my thought. Get out now, get out now, get
Hmm.
out now.
Wow. Great. That's pretty simple. So these thoughts then are our parents' thoughts often? Could they be thoughts from, manipulative entities or demonic forces? Could that also be influencing this resistance too?
Right.
Or
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's this kind of the second part of the core of my work, and that is we have this external energetic resistance. Now, this is the one where it kind of feels strange to people at first, especially people who have been on more of the light side of everything, about how the universe is this positive force, and what you would like to be created gets created to you, and kind of your body's advantage. But what can happen is we also have these external resistive forces that kind of want things to be their way. So they're not so much like against you, but they want the world to remain exactly as it is, with people feeling small, disenfranchised, powerless. Wow. And I know a lot of us have felt that way. And it can kind of seem like things are against us. But I look at it more as they're just energies that want something different than you want. And when we have these things that we're trying to create in our lives and we feel this resistance, I think that like one of the first things to do is to look at what is outside of you that might be resisting you. Now, these energetic forces, they're made up of kind of like all the kind of negative forces we've heard about: entities, demonics, aliens, reptilians, parasitics, and even some gods and things. And those energies, when we just like look at like, oh, they just want something different than us, it's easy to kind of like, well, I think what happens if we don't recognize that they're there, then we kind of think that it's our own selves resisting our forward progress. And this is one of those places where it's easy to make yourself feel wrong or small, and actually kind of be using your own energetic magic and energetic creation energy against yourself. Because if you think like, why does this keep happening to me? Why can't I move through this? It should be easy. Um, it's easy to kind of make yourself think that you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, or even that something's actually really wrong with you. But when we look at that, there might be some external energetic resistance. Wow. And I feel that in a lot of the people who are here, that it kind of like, in some ways, it can actually help you to access more of your power. It's kind of like if you were trying to lift up a weight that was on your friend's floor and it says it's 15 pounds and you're trying to lift it and you're going, gosh, I can barely move this. It's really hard. And then your friend goes, oh, it's not 15 pounds, it's 150. And so then you go, oh, actually, I'm stronger than I thought, because I could lift up this weight that I didn't know I could. And that's one of the parts is anytime you're having an external challenge, things feel harder than they should. You can just ask, is there external energetic resistance? Are there external energies resisting me doing this? Now, I know when we first start talking about external energies resisting people, it can seem kind of disempowering and make you feel, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff out there. But the cool part, it's just kind of like a law of this universe, that you are always stronger than any external energetic resistance. Energetic resistance can't stop you. It can slow you down, but only really if you don't know that it's there and recognize it. Because if you recognize it, you go, oh, there's just some external energetic resistance, push that out of the way, and then I can move forward.
Wonderful. So it seems like the sensitive, evolving beings that are here to contribute to the earth in a positive manner are the ones that seem to experience this external resistance. However, the ordinary folk that aren't really even aware, are they also experiencing external resistance? Maybe even to the evolving of their consciousness, or what's your sense?
I would say that a little bit. But what happens for one of the things about energetically aware people like us is sometimes we kind of want to change so much. We want to create all this positive change in the world, and we're not like so focused on one thing. So, for example, if like the more general people, the Muggle type people, they might be really focused on making money. And if they're focused in one direction, going in one way, if there's a
Mhm.
wind blowing them from a certain direction, it's almost like they don't care. They're just going to keep going forward. So it doesn't impact them as much. But for us, there were kind of like always energetically sensing, what are other people thinking? What do we want to do in this world? Or we want to change this, we want to change that. It's easy for like a wind to kind of push us a little bit off because we're looking in different directions. And that's one of the parts too, is like people in a lot of the manifesting community say, like, if you keep that one strong center, if you keep going towards that one thing, it won't mess with you as much. And that's true. But for a lot of us, we're so aware of all these things that are going out in the world that it's easy for those forces to push us slightly off.
Mm-hmm. So can you clarify a little bit more for me when the manifesting communities, what you mentioned there in regards to them
Um,
saying if you focus on one strong center, you're not going to be bothered as much? Is that what you've said?
well, yes. The
Mm-hmm.
part is a lot of times they don't even recognize that there's this external resistance. And it kind of comes down to, you have to keep these positive thoughts. You can't allow yourself to drift off course, which in some ways is true, because if you really can do that, you're going to be able to create a lot more in your life. The challenge is for many of us, especially me, I wasn't able to like keep that straight line because I was perceiving these other energies. And at first I thought, oh, there must be something wrong with me because I can't, keep thinking these positive thoughts, and these negative ones or these resisting ones would pop in.
Mm-hmm.
And the part is, I think if you recognize that they're external energies that might be trying to push you off course,
Mm-hmm.
not like because they're against you, but because they want something different than you do. And once again, I kind of want to come back to the whole part about that you're always stronger than those external energies. But if you don't recognize that it could be something outside of you, you kind of will end up blaming yourself for it's your fault that you did that.
Mm-hmm. So in regards to this resistance, many of us, feel that we're here with a specific mission or,
Yes.
to contribute. What are some of the logical reasons why we may not want to step up and embody that greatest part of our beingness or
Mm-hmm.
our mission? Is it
Yeah.
external resistances again, or is it something that's in our subconscious, or is it both? Is it?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both, but let's focus on the energetic resistance part.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things is like a logical reason for us not wanting to step up is because basically every time that you kind of step up, the external energetic resistance increases. Now, this at first sounds very disempowering, and I get
Mm-hmm.
it. Because for me especially and other of my clients, when we try to create more positive change in the world,
Mm-hmm.
the external resistance goes, oh, they're about to do something amazing. We better slow them down or stop them before they can actually do this. Now, one of the things that used to happen to me was before I was going to teach an empowerment class, like
Mm-hmm.
one of the ones I did, the hardest one I ever did was moving beyond abuse and trauma. And when I first put the little email out that I was going to be teaching this class, I got massively resisted, even energetically attacked. And it was so hard that my mother, who's not an energetic person, was going, Max, maybe you should just cancel this class.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, no, I'm not going to do it. It needs to be done. And then that allowed me to push through that resistance, because
Mm-hmm.
this external resistance often isn't because that you're weak or you're not strong enough. It's actually because you have the capacity to create huge change in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like somebody going, oh, if I push down now, it'll take less energy than to push you down later. And so I kind of like shifted it from when there's a lot of energetic resistance coming up, it probably means that I'm going to be stepping into something more powerful, stronger. And so that's why I kind of recommend to your viewers that if they're having challenges when they're stepping up, when they're about ready to create something that's going to improve their lives or the improves the lives of other people,
Mm-hmm.
to ask, is there more energetic resistance here that could be pushed out?
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole part around that, like not wanting to step up, is you can feel even subconsciously that if you do step up, there's going to be this more resistance. Now, like I want to come back to that point we made before, is that you're always stronger than any energetic resistance in your life. So nothing can energetically stop you from taking your next step. It can make it harder, but it can never stop you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I've certainly experienced that quite a few times in my life. And sometimes it's like, oh my God, I can't even move.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do they just say external resistance be gone, or how is
I
it that
think,
you dealt with it in that really intense time?
yeah, well, there are a couple of things. The first is to recognize that it's not you. And I'm going to say that it tends to take a little bit of time because even me that know this stuff and deal with it all the time, there'll be times it's like, gosh, why is this thing so hard? Why is my life like this? And it's easy to kind of start going down that path because logically it makes sense because it's you that's doing it and it's you that's having the challenge. But it's one of those places where something that seems so logical isn't actually true. And then it's basically to recognize, like once you recognize it, I mean, that's actually the biggest thing. Just recognizing that there could be an external energetic resistance gives you more strength to move through it. And then there's multiple clearings that I do in my major work. I also, because even me have certain times when I don't feel in my full power, I created an energetic clearing audio that I can play that helps me move through these challenges. Because
Mm-hmm.
even the most powerful person, you're going to have certain times when things are really tough and you feel like you need to reach out to somebody for help. And it's a great thing to do. But if you can't do that, or you're not really even really sure, what do you do? And the main thing I think is really just recognizing that you have more strength and capacities than you have. And there's probably just more resistance up than you think is up.
Do you sense that there's new types of resistances that are showing up when people aware find out how they can transcend the old ways of resistance, like new technologies or new wave broadcasts or anything like that?
Oh, I think that in some ways that there are new things, but in the main part, I look at it, it's very similar technologies that have been around for, thousands or hundreds of thousands of years. And one of the parts about this this external energetic resistance is before we start like stepping into who we came here to be, we experience this kind of general resistance. You can think of it kind of like large level advertising, that everybody gets the same kind of advertising that in some ways makes them feel a little bit smaller. And then as we keep stepping up, that lower level resistance manipulation no longer works. And this is why, like when we step up, we can think, oh, we can be in this super clear, amazing space and think like, oh, nothing's going to be messing with us ever again. And then like the next day or the next week, it's just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm really back in the muck. And what I see is that we're just sensing a higher level of resistance. Now, the part is I'm coming back to the part is you're always stronger than any external resistance. But when we start feeling really amazing because we kicked it all out, we're in a very empowered place, and we start to feel even a little bit, it can feel like, ugh, we don't like it because we've gone from this really empowered place to a slightly less empowered place, but we just know that, oh, we can feel this way again. And so I think the part is external energetic resistance, it's not as powerful as we think it is, because you're always stronger than it is. But it uses lies and manipulation to make you think that it's stronger. And so that's the part that coming back to the thing that you always have the power to move through any energetic resistance.
So these lies and manipulations, how do they end up showing up? Is it just the negative self-talk or what we think is our self-talk, or is it
Yeah, the negative
actual physical
self-talk.
pain or something like that in the body?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's another really good one. Wow, there's a lot of people that are having physical pain in their body. And this is one of the ones that's actually kind of sneaky, is anytime we have physical pain in our body, we energetically want to be far away from that because it hurts. So we kind of draw away. And then that also kind of is a place where energetic resistance can be pushing on or hiding in this pain. Now, this is one of those ones that gets kind of far out there. But any place that you don't look at is where something or someone or something else or energies can hide. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't planning on going quite this deep with your group, but I think it's important. So
Absolutely.
once again, it's just like, so when we have a pain in our body and energetic forces, energetic resistance, why they have like all those different specific ones it could be. I think the important thing is for most of us is just to realize that there's something there that's not us. So you can just do a quick thing about there is like any pain or discomfort you have. Is that hiding anything that's not authentically you or not authentically your body?
Mhm.
And then once again, it's just like there, we can do all the energetic clearings to go deeper on that, but it's really just recognizing that there's something that might not be you that's there.
Mhm. Mhm. So do you think people that have actually resolved their, traumas or emotional issues have a more resilient energy body and level of consciousness that keeps out external resistances?
Oh yeah, totally. Because one of the parts is that the stronger you get, the less external resistance or the kind of normal external resistance will mess with you. An
Mhm.
example, I kind of use like the wind and weather sometimes as energetic resistance. It's not a big deal, but kind of like in the beginning of like a cooler season, you go outside and you go, oh my gosh, it's so cold. And then in the spring, after you've been there for 6 months, the same temperature goes, oh, it's kind of nice. I don't even really need my jacket. And as you do all your energetic work, you keep moving and increasing, becoming more your authentic power. You're just like in kind of the weather. There's those energetic resistance are still around you, but they don't impact you as much. Now, the part is I'm going to say no matter what level you're at, there are going to be external energetic resistance that are going to push against you, but it becomes less and less. And then also knowing that you can push through any of that resistance, that gives you the strength to move through it. That's one of the ones that I fall on kind of all the time. So even if I'm under energetic attack or having that kind of external resistance, I just know, okay, I am going to move through this, even if it takes me a little bit longer than I would like.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I guess we have to, right? Move through it or die. Not die, but
Um, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, yes and no.
immobilize.
Yeah, the part is for if somebody's watching us here, they are choosing to move through it. Period.
Mhm.
But a lot of people that aren't, as on the awareness path or not looking to change and grow as much as we are, they do get stopped by that. It's that resistance. It's like, oh yeah, that's too hard. I'm just going to stay in my normal place, my normal job.
Mhm.
But for most of us, we want not only our lives to be better, we want the world to be better.
Mhm.
And that's one of the reasons why that we can run into more of that internal external resistance.
Mhm.
Because you stepping up, becoming more of the person you came here to be, is not only going to change you, it's going to change all the people around you and even the entire world.
Mhm.
And the forces that want the world to stay exactly as it is, they do not want that.
Mhm. Yes, and they're definitely clamping down on many things that are creating, basic civil liberties that we can't even express or,
Yeah.
you
No, that's
know. Mhm.
a really good point.
Mhm.
So I'm very positive about the future that we're
Mhm.
going to move through this
Mhm.
now. But I also see that those external forces are kind of like doing their last ditch effort. They're kind of like bringing all their stuff up to make it harder for
Absolutely.
us to try to stop us, but
Mhm.
they're not going to be able to. But it also doesn't make it any doesn't seem to make it much easier right now.
Mhm.
But the more of us that recognize that that's a component of kind of like everything that's going on,
Mhm.
all the politics stuff, all the viral stuff, all those other things, if we recognize that there's also this energetic component behind it, it makes things make a lot more sense and helps us to not get quite as upset about some stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
you're still going to get upset because there's a lot of things to get upset about, but then knowing, oh, there's this component here that wants you to be upset. And I think one of the challenges with all this stuff is I believe that, as humans, we have the full spectrum of emotions, and we should have that all the way from, anger to love. And every part of the emotional spectrum is a contribution at some time.
Mhm.
And the part about like anger can be actually be helpful because it gives you the energy to do things that you wouldn't want to do otherwise. But the trick is to keep that anger from going into hate. Because when it goes into hate, then it
Right.
becomes like, oh my gosh, this is so awful. It's so bad. And you can get stuck in there and not be
Mhm.
able to do that. But
Mhm.
when you go, oh, I'm angry about this, I'm going to do something about it. That gives you more, that's kind of a more empowering way of looking at anger.
Mhm.
Um,
Absolutely. Okay, that's great. So in regards to working with people, you work on an energetic level.
Yep.
But I'm wondering, how does our conscious mind or unconscious mind end up also sort of taking us out of our power?
Oh, okay. Well, one of the parts that I look at is that your subconscious and the universe is always working to make you right, to make
Mhm,
what you say or what you think right. And so what can happen is if you're thinking like you just had a bad experience happen to you, and you go, why does this always happen to me? That's one of the things we a lot of us will think. And then your subconscious is working on the background going, oh, why does it happen to you? Oh, because you're dumb, you're stupid. This happened before, da 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 da. And so your subconscious is trying to make that one thought that you had correct.
mhm,
So this is why we want to be really think about the thoughts that we say. Just to use, I look at thoughts as they're the magic spells that you use to create your reality. And we're in this place, so we live in kind of this throwaway society. So people don't really think so much about the words they're using. They just say whatever. They just say like "I'm so stupid" or things like that.
mhm,
And so what we want to do is shift it so your subconscious and the universe works to make you right in the way that you would like to be right. So instead of saying something like, why does this always happen? You could ask, how can I change this so it works for me? How could I
mhm,
use this to my advantage? And
mhm,
one of the parts around asking those questions is you never come to the answer because questions are this magic energy that's creation. So if I ask you, a question like, "What's your favorite color?" It's really hard to not just say what it is. But if you don't say that, then that allows that energy of that question to grow and to expand. And so when you ask something like, how could this turn out better than I expect it to be? Your subconscious starts looking at, well, oh, how could it? But if you already decided something like, oh, this never happened, it would be magically fixed, that creates that kind of like locks or it stops the energy of that magic creation. So when we leave it in that open-ended question, we still can think like, oh, it'd be nice if it did that, but just having that ability to allow your subconscious and then the universal or the creation energetic field to be working towards making that happen. And the more possibilities you leave open, the more likely it can happen. It's kind of like we talk about in like quantum physics and stuff. Like you have
mhm.
this wave field, but as soon as you measure it, it collapses to this point. And so your question basically goes out as this energetic wave field that encompasses all these ranges. But if you collapse it down before it's ready to, it can only find that one space, and that's really hard for the universe or your subconscious to create that one reality where what you want to happen.
Mhm, mhm. So you mentioned creational field and your own creational field. Do each of us have our own creational field as well, can we
Um,
contribute to creating that in a different way? Or tell us
that's
more
an
about that.
interesting concept. I haven't looked at it quite like that. Like I look
Mhm,
at the creation field as that's my way of describing the universe, or actually bigger than the universe. It's
mm,
the energy that our thoughts go into, and then it creates things. We have our own interaction with that creation field. Maybe that's how I look at it.
okay.
So you have your own personal interaction with the creation field,
I see.
and you can ask it to do things. You can play around in it. One of my
Mm,
new tools is actually swimming in the creation field.
mm,
So you can just energetically ask just energetically tap into the creation field and then kind of swim around in it. And I look at that as that actually that even though we're not like specifically asking for something, or we could, just doing that kind of lets the creation field know that you're aware of it and that you're looking for support in some way.
mm. Beautiful. And it works.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, and the part around that is when we're looking to create things in our lives,
Mhm,
we often just think like, oh, I just have to think this thought and then it'll happen. But what often happens is there's some sort of resistance we have internally to that. There's also
mhm.
the external component. So,
Okay.
because so many of us, energetically sensitive, more intuitive people, for
Mhm,
most of our lives, if something wasn't working, we looked at like ourselves, it must be our fault. And so my new way of thinking and inviting clients in is to always think that before you look at what you need to change in yourself, look at what component is external. This is just a way to kind of keep us from going instantly to, what's wrong with me, because I can't create this.
Right.
And when we're trying to create something, there is going to be certain kinds of resistances that come up, some external, some internal. And then it's not to look at it like, oh, I just need to shift this so I'm only thinking positive. It's to look at, okay, what is this resistance? Where do I have a belief that I'm not good enough or that I shouldn't be allowed to have this? And then when we see that, then we just energetically clear or release that belief. And it's a continual process. So we don't have to become the best version of ourselves before we can start creating. It's kind of like this combination. We're working towards the best version of ourselves. And in the future, it will be easier for us to create because we'll have less limitation. But we don't want to wait until we've cleared out all of our blocks and limits before we start creating. Because it'd be a lot more fun to have more of the things we would like in our life now than waiting. And so basically, anytime that you're looking to create something, you can always ask is what's this resistance to it? Oh, and another trick that I have is when you are looking to create something, stand up and then you take a step, say like what you're looking to create, and then take a physical step into it. And then look at where there's resistance. And sometimes there'll be, whoa, there's a lot of resistance here. And then you just clear that out. And then keep taking a step until you can just step into it and go, oh, yeah, that feels good.
Beautiful. Awesome. So does receiving have something to do with actualization of your requests in the creational field?
Oh, yes. Yeah. And so one of the parts that a lot of the work that I do is talking about clearing without what's in the way. But we can also clear by receiving. And sometimes that comes back down to that, being aware of something can be enough to change it. And so sometimes when we're trying to create something that we maybe don't think we're quite yet worthy of, or we have to do some things before we can receive it. We can receive those energies from the universe, from the creation field. So you can receive it, and then you can do clearing through that. And receiving from the universe and the creation field also feels really good. So that's one of those exercises we're going to do at the end of this interview.
Oh, great.
I want to invite people into that.
Awesome. We've got a couple of more questions here. So how does calling in energies actually help people become and stay resilient? Do you like say, oh, I want to call in the energy of joy and it comes to you? How does it work?
I think one of the parts that this is one of those ones is we used to believe that we had to do or experience things before we could actually receive it. And the part is any kind of thing that you feel you're lacking, the energy you're lacking, the feelings or emotions, you can call that in. And so one of the parts is if there's something that you're missing in your life, let's say you're missing a relationship or something like that. While you can call in a relationship and do those other parts, what can happen is if you can call in the energy of what you would feel as if you were in that relationship. So it's kind of like bypassing that you have to have it before. It's kind of like calling, because we can call in any energies that we would like. So the part around that is really just to see is like, what are you missing? Because there's so many times we're sitting there goes like, oh yeah, well, I can't do anything or I don't have the job I want. So it's like, oh, well, how would you feel if you did have that job you would want? How would you feel, and what if you called in that energy so you can feel it right here, right now?
Beautiful. So do you have any last kernels of wisdom to share with us before we begin your experience?
Just to let everyone know that they are good enough. They have every capacity and the ability to take their next step towards creating the life that they would like. And anytime you don't feel like you can take that step, that just means that there's energetic resistance in the way. It doesn't mean it's always going to be easy to take that step, but you always have the capacity to, and you can. So that's the main thing around all this stuff is that if it feels like you can't do something, that's not you. So remove it and then take your next step.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
So how can we prepare for your amazing experience?
Yeah, so I'm just going to walk you through connecting to the planet and then
Mhm.
expanding out to the universe, and then
Okay.
bringing in the energies that you would like in this moment.
Mm.
Now, the main part I just want to say before this is um, no matter what I'm inviting you to do, you're
Mhm.
able to do this easily and completely. I'm going to be asking people to expand pretty large, but that's
Mhm.
something that you all can do. The other part is how this work is designed is it's designed to only work to your advantage and your body's advantage.
Mm.
Um, and so this is even so if you have some resistance to something, that's totally okay.
Mhm.
We're not going to do anything that you don't want to do.
Mhm.
But it's kind of like my infinite being is having a conversation with your infinite being. And so we're having this, I mean, while it's for a group, it's actually this kind of a pretty intimate one-on-one connection
Mhm.
that we're going to be doing just what you and your body would actually like. Okay, so let's get started. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's just connect to the authentic symbiotic planet,
Mm.
the planet that's green and growing, the planet that wants you to be happy. Oh, whew. And now let's expand out beyond the planet in all directions. And any resistance, you can just like push through it or go around it. Oh, there we go. So we're expanding out in all directions beyond the planet. Oh, then we're going to expand out beyond the solar system. Yeah. And for those of you who it's a little bit too big, just go as far as you would like. But I'm going to invite you just to try. Oh, there you go. Beyond the solar system. Oh. And then we're going to expand out beyond the universe and everything that's resisting that. Whoosh, whoosh, out,
Mm.
out, 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 out. Ooh, beyond the universe in all directions. Ooh, ooh, nice. Let's expand out beyond the multiverse in all directions. Expand out beyond the beyondiverse in all directions. Ooh, expand out beyond that, beyond that, beyond that, past the infinite realms. Now I'm going to invite you to connect into your infinite being. Ooh, the infinite version of you. Ooh. And now we're going to ask your body to connect into the infinite body. And basically what that is your body also has an infinite body. Your body is conscious, ooh, and has its own connection to the universe. There you go, connect into infinite body. Oh, oh. And invite your body to connect into the infinite planet. Awesome. And from this space, what is everything your being and everything your body would like? And this is to you and your body's authentic advantage. What is everything your body and everything your being would like? And anywhere that you might not feel that you're worthy of it, ugh, let all that go. Ooh, let all that go. Let all that go. Ooh.
Mm.
So, what is everything your being and everything your body would like? Ooh. And because we're expanded out in this universal space, we can grab all those energies. Ooh. So everything that your being would and body would like, let's just gather those energies and just direct them in front of you. Ooh. Then we're going to ask them to adjust to exactly what you would like. So if there wasn't quite enough, we're going to expanding them. And if it was like too much for right now, then we're reducing them a little bit. Then we're going to ask them to frequency match to your body's and being's advantage. So that means we're just adjusting it, clearing out anything that you wouldn't like, and making things even more compatible, ooh, more easily absorbed by your being, ooh, and your body. Ooh. And then just receive just what you would like, just the loving, nurturing, ooh, supporting, and healing energies, ooh, and any cleansing energies ooh, that your body and being would like, and allow them to flow in and through your body and in and through your being. Oh. And if there are any places that are sore, hurting, ugh, don't feel so good, allow these energies to direct more to those spaces. And because we have
Mm.
access to kind of infinite amount of energies, we can just direct even more there. So if your knee is sore, direct it there. If you have any parts of your bodies that aren't a contribution, ugh, if your liver needs some cleansing, just use those energies to cleanse that out. Ooh, ooh.
Mm.
And then it's really helpful to do certain things 3 times. So
Mhm.
let's expand back out. Whew, and grab all those energies that your body and
Mm.
being would like. Ooh, bring them in front of you. Ask them to amplify to exactly what you would like. Ask them to frequency match to your body's and being's advantage, and receive those loving, nurturing, supporting, and healing energies into your being and into your body. Ooh. Allow them to flow wherever it's a contribution for them to go. And what is everything else your body and being would like? Ooh, let's bring all those energies in front of you. Ask them to amplify to exactly what you would like. Ask them to frequency match to your body's and being's advantage, and receive those loving, nurturing, supporting, and healing energies into your being and into your body. And let's allow those energies to keep loving, supporting, nurturing, and healing your being, and loving, nurturing, supporting your body the rest of the day, or until you've had enough, or you're just ready for something else. So thank you for going with me on that little journey of receiving.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much. I haven't journeyed like that for a while.
Nice.
Fantastic. Okay, any last words before we part?
Oh, I think that's really good. It was really great to
Excellent.
be here with you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.